So Leeds have just come out victorious in a huge game at the top of the Championship, and today I'm going to look at how they did that and what it means for the promotion race in the Championship. Well, Sunderland led first in this game through a brilliant Wilson Isidore goal. His run was superb, his hold-up play and balance against Ampadu was great, and then a beautiful finish to top it off. But honestly, I think overall Sunderland did well in this game, and right up until the end they defended well and were able to limit Leeds until the 77th minute. Sunderland were able to take a good control of the game, I think, and in a compacted, disciplined way with aggressive challenges too at the back. And I think Dan Ballard and Luke O'Nien at the back in particular were really good. And Sunderland came to Ellen Road with a solid game plan which they were able to execute incredibly well. And despite leaving empty-handed, it was a strong away performance and effort, and a promising performance as well for the Black Cats. Leeds did come out on top though, and that was through well-timed substitutes and effective set pieces. It was clear that Leeds were struggling to challenge the Sunderland defence despite having the majority of the ball, and that the set pieces clearly weren't working either. Up until the goal, Leeds did manage 14 shots, but only one of them was on target. So never really challenging Patterson in net, while Sunderland had only 6 shots, but all of them were on target. So the 71st minute substitutions from Daniel Farker really turned it around, bringing on Pascal Struijk and Rothwell, the first who scored both and the latter who assisted both. So both of them proved to be good decisions from the manager. In the later stages of the game, Leeds were able to take an even better grip of the game and dominate Sunderland, but this time not just through possession, but causing the defence some real problems. Sunderland dug their own grave for the first goal when Patrick Roberts committed a silly foul, giving away a free kick in a good position, which Leeds were able to take full advantage of. An inch-perfect delivery from Joe Rothwell to Struijk. Rothwell came on to replace Gruev earlier in the game, who you could tell was struggling physically and mentally, and Rothwell completely turned the game around with his brilliant deliveries and overall play. But the question can definitely be asked of why the pair didn't start the game, because not only were they brilliant going forward, obviously it could be argued that Isidore's first goal doesn't happen if it's Pascal Struijk he's leaning into, not Ampadu. But in terms of the first goal, you can't blame Roberts too much for the foul, but by this point in the game it seemed that the whole Sunderland team had kind of put so much into it in the first 80 minutes or so, and they were kind of struggling to keep up, which led to them giving away a lot of fouls towards the end of the game, and I think they got 6 yellow cards or something, so they were sort of struggling to keep up with the tempo of the game right at the end, and this ultimately caused their downfall. Something else Leeds did well in the game was they nullified Enzo Lefebvre, who has been really dangerous recently. And I think it led to what has probably been his weakest game in a Sunderland shirt so far. This was mainly because he wasn't able to get the ball simply because Sunderland weren't on the ball, and the ball is where he thrives. I also think that being on the wing sort of stops him reaching his full potential. In the 10 position is sort of naturally where he plays well, and with Romain Mundle now back from injury for Sunderland, it could be interesting to see if he moves into the middle and Romain Mundle goes out onto the wing to see what he could do there. Getting on the ball more, getting involved more could mean he's even more effective, but that would of course mean sacrificing one of the midfield 3, which all 3 really were pretty good today. While Leeds weren't at their best today, they managed to grind out the result, and that just shows the winning mentality instilled in this group of players, and how even when they aren't at their best, they still manage to win these types of games, and of course that's a sign of champions. I think ultimately the last 10 minutes or so of this game kind of decided the game, because it showed that Sunderland maybe aren't ready for promotion yet. The lack of experience and depth at the end was present, whereas Leeds were able to grind out, bringing on top class players and use their experience to grind out the victory in an impressive manner, getting them the 3 points. And while at times I think the win could be attributed to a lot of luck, the very best teams make their own luck, and I think Leeds did that today. And this win will give Leeds so much confidence and momentum going into arguably the biggest game of the season so far, Leeds versus Sheffield United. And I think honestly, if they win that, whilst it's a long way to go, they may just have one hand on the trophy. Definitely a match of 2 halves, this one though, and Sunderland were definitely the better in the first, and Leeds better in the second. And I think it was a case of Leeds showing Sunderland too much respect in the first half, and Sunderland showing Leeds too much respect in the second half. The second goal too was incredible, and in the dying embers, it felt that Leeds were pushing for it, and it kind of felt like it was coming right at the end. Sunderland were starting to fall apart too, but once again it was Rothwell's play who sent Enzo Lefebvre off the pitch with a bit of skill and then put in a really good ball once again. And honestly, I think Patterson can maybe do better, but ultimately it's a good goal and the match winner, and one that puts Sunderland 10 points behind Leeds now, which is a huge gap in the Championship. And it does seem like this maybe puts a bit of confirmation on the fact that Sunderland are maybe just going to fall short for promotion this season. But of course it's a long way to go, and this was a promising performance, and which will be why they're so devastated not getting the points from this one. I do think we saw glimpses today of why Sunderland can really push for promotion, but over the season with the young squad, I'm not sure whether they'll be able to do it. But overall, Leeds go home ecstatic, Sunderland devastated. Neither side with a vintage performance, but Leeds did the only thing champions care about and won. A proper title winning performance, real grit and determination to get the 3 points, and that might just be the difference maker between them and the rest of the pack, and that might just be what takes them up this season. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did Leeds deserve the win? What do you think of the game? Who's going up? And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.